Good morning, friends, and welcome. Let's start our class today with a prayer together. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, friend, beloved God, great gurus, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Laidi Mahashaya, Swami Sri Yukteswarji, beloved Master Paramhansa Yoganandaji, saints of all religions, we bow at thy feet. O great ones, fill our consciousness with thy vibrations, thy thoughts, thy inspiration. Help us to be uplifted in thy light. We are thine, be thou ours. Om Shanti, Shanti. We'll have a song and then an excerpt from a talk by Swamiji on this topic of overcoming spiritual laziness. Welcome again, friends.
Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom.
But we can inspire people and perhaps guide them to show them how to become better human beings, more in tune. That's our goal. Well, in that broader picture, there are specific things that we'd like to do. All of them with the idea of inspiring the inner man, not of creating an outer thing. I actually feel very keen on the thought of making things beautiful, on doing things right. It's not at all that I feel that we should be irresponsible. Beauty is important. When I see somebody, usually it's a lady because they're more conscious of these things, but sometimes a man, but if I see somebody who dresses in a pleasing way, with pleasing color combination and so on, it may be a total stranger. I've very often gone up to them in a restaurant and said, "Thank you for dressing that way." I feel that they're blessing us. They're not showing themselves off. If they are, too bad, but We owe it to other people to try to create harmony in this world. And I think it's a lovely thing to have that. I've often thought of Saraswati, who's such a perfect example that way. She's in such harmonious colors. It's a pleasure to look at. Sometimes in our community we think, well, we're here for God, and therefore these things don't matter, so I'll wander around with torn clothes and dirty blue jeans and hay sticking out of my hair, and doesn't matter, I love God. Well, God certainly looks at the heart, it's true, but after all, God is manifest in this world, and if we can manifest Him harmoniously, isn't it better? I think it's very important. I came from that space myself, so I can laugh at myself. I remember the first time I met Rajarshi Janakananda, I was standing in a line with a torn T-shirt, and Master looked at me, he said, "Do you have to dress like that?" Anandamoyi Ma in India, where they believe in simplicity, she won't let people come to any gathering with dirty clothes or torn clothes. She said, "We're not that poor. We can afford to dress properly." And that doesn't mean we've got to wear a three-piece suit all the time and ties and everything, looking like clothes horses, but we can and should be neat and clean. People who work in the garden they'll naturally get dirty, but when they get off their work in the garden, take a bath and put on clean clothes and rejoin the human race. It's absolutely unnecessary to prove our sincerity by being slobs. We should create harmonious environments. We should keep our places clean. We should make, because a harmonious environment creates harmony inside, and a disharmonious environment creates disharmony. We can even put it this way, and this is something that Swami Chidananda said when he saw some mess at the farm people hadn't picked up. He said, you know, when there's a messy place, that attracts low entities. Angels are put off by that kind of thing. Angels are attracted to beautiful places, beautiful surroundings. This is because that reflects God. God created harmony. And if we leave bits of... Master had us, whenever he'd see a piece of paper on the ground, he'd say, pick that up. He would, we became conscious, whenever we saw anything that was left there where it shouldn't be, it was our duty to put it where it should be. Honnold used to go crazy over the way people would leave tools out. I hope they aren't doing that anymore. But that's an example of what I'm talking about, that we put things where they belong and be neat and proper and orderly, not because we're trying to make a perfect world, but because this is the way to express some kind of perfection in ourselves by creating a harmonious world. You see, people tend to go from one extreme to another. Once I clarify that we don't want to create perfection, people say, oh, glory be and hallelujah, let's make it imperfect. We want to make it as good as we possibly can. We want to make it harmonious as we possibly can. Colors reflect your aura. They help, not only do they reflect it, they help to create it. The kind of colors you wear, the kind of thoughts that you take into your mind. And if you wear colors that clash and that are not harmonious, then you're going to do something with your own spiritual nature too. So without trying to create perfection from outside inward, if we want to live harmoniously inward, we should radiate that perfection outward, so that as much as possible we do manifest perfection outside. To this extent, I think it's high time the community started thinking in these terms, because we do allow things to remain imperfect altogether too long, thinking that we're not trying to create perfection. What I'm really saying is, I'm not trying to create inner perfection by creating it outwardly first. I'm saying our emphasis must be inward, but we will not have affirmed that perfection inwardly unless and until we have manifested that perfection as much as we can outwardly.
Welcome again, friends. This is such a great topic. I'd like to start by reading from this book, In Divine Friendship, Swamiji's letters to people. This is an excerpt. We at Ananda are in the position of being not only a new community, but also part of the vanguard of a whole new social movement. I wonder if you realize how high the incidence of failure is among new cooperative communities. One university researcher a year or two ago found that the average life expectancy of a new commune or community was only 30 days. Of the thousands of communities that have been started in America in the past 6 years, all but a handful have died out. Ananda has a distinction of being one of the 3 or 4 most successful communities in the country. It is no small triumph. And then another brief excerpt. Master Swamiji says, we hold close to Master's dictum, be practical in your idealism. Even in the matter of practicality, however, my big challenge, Swamiji said, came from people, from those woolly-minded idealists, for example, who insisted they were serving God by going to the river and swimming all day long instead of working, or to earn anything so crass as money. This is a very important topic because I see often that people think the spiritual path, and I'm speaking about our path, but the spiritual path is you meditate a little bit and do a little bit of talking about philosophy, go to maybe a satsang maybe, and if you feel up to it, and sip some tea. But this is really a very dynamic, energetic path that Master laid out. Is very focused, is very concentrated. He talked about bringing God into every aspect of our life and not sitting half asleep in meditation and saying that's the whole spiritual path. It's very focused, very uplifted, very super conscious. We're living Kriya Yoga in action, meditation in action, yoga in action, super conscious living. That's our path. And that means that every aspect of our lives, everything we're doing, we're trying to laser beam focus our energy, our magnetism, our attention, God's power to become successful at every part of our lives, be it meditation, be it whatever service project we have, or whatever it is. And to overcome the stagnation of, oh, it's too hard. Oh, it takes too long. Oh, I feel so tired. Oh, why doesn't somebody else do it? And coming up with one excuse after another. I've heard so many of them. I kid about it, but maybe it will happen. The book of excuses. So now what is spiritual laziness? Really, it's making feeling things are too much for you, pushing from both sides of a door. A person wants to do it, but then again, they don't really want to put out the energy. I want to find God, but they don't really. And Master told one man who said, Master, you can do these things because you're a master. Master looked at him strongly. He said, what do you think made me a master? Doing. He didn't say sitting. He said doing. And so our path, and especially speaking about Ananda, we have Master said it himself. He said meditation and seva go hand in hand. Meditation helps your work. Work helps your meditation. You need both. And there was another saying of Master, and is another, where he said, my own but God-given willpower is what I use. And also, I will reason, I will, I will act. I will do it. Not do everything for me, but guide thou my reason, will, and activity to the right path in every action. And the greater the will, the greater the flow of energy, the greater the magnetism, then the greater the inspiration. So what is he saying? We have to get engaged with all of our energy to make things happen and not hope and wish that we can just sort of slide into the divine and to heaven. We have to really put our energy out. But there's what's known as the unwillingness monster. We used to call him at Ananda San Francisco house. When you want to do it, but you just don't want to do it. And I remember at that house, we would get up early in the morning, and we were all in our 20s, and some people had to go to work early. So we'd get up at 5 or something like that and get down there in the sadhana room and meditate. But to get from your bed to the meditation room took a lot of effort. So we would sing, we would chant. Some of us would go through the halls. It was a big, huge mansion, 5 stories. And we would chant that chant of Swami Shri Teswarji. Oh, my saint, wake, yet wake. You did not meditate. You did not concentrate. You passed your time in idle words. Then those words, death will be at thy door. You won't have time anymore. I remember once someone threw a shoe at the door. And afterwards they apologized. I'm so sorry. I just didn't want to get up. And that's how it is. You have both there, but you have to be able to get engaged. And I remember another woman who was, when I lived at the meditation retreat in Ananda Village, in this little cabin, we had to get up maybe even earlier than that to get out and energize, no matter what it was cold, freezing cold or snowing or whatever was happening. And this woman, she was on the top bunk. I was on the bottom, I remember. And she said every morning was her affirmation was, I just hate getting up. Don't you just hate it? I hate it. I said, I don't hate it. I mean, I don't like it. But of course she left because she just didn't want to put out the energy. And I was reading his very sweet story about Master. It's so funny. Mukunda, when he was with Swami Shri Teswarji and some other boys were there. And he said every time we'd go to meditate that they would fall asleep. And then he said, well, you sleep all the time. You're not meditating. And they said, well, we feel sleepy. We work hard and we're sleepy. And Mukunda at the time, he says, well, when Master gives you food, I don't see you sleepy then. He says, you're all focused. And that's the thing. People focus on what they want to focus on. They do what they want to do. And he said, you're not doing yoga, you're doing jala yoga. You're uniting yourself with food. But we have to realize that the energy is there. We just have to really try to focus it. So what are the ways that we slump in our, we get into laziness? So one is the practices themselves. So you kind of barely energize, kind of move your arms around as much as you feel, but you're not really putting out the energy, barely doing the yoga. SCL, super conscious, I'm awake and ready. I've done those with some people who are just barely saying it. Then I've done it with people who are shouting it out. It makes a huge difference. And so putting out the energy in the practices, sitting and really meditating, really doing Kriya, really just engaging your energy and feeling like it's what a most wonderful time of your day and putting energy into that. So one way is the energization and the other techniques that people tend to kind of just not do as much as they feel that as they should do. The second is ideas. When you're in a meeting, I mean, I ask people, well, what do you think? Gee, I don't know. I mean, well, that never was an answer with Swamiji. What do you think? Give an answer, get a solution, get some ideas, get some inspiration, lift your antenna up and draw in. What is Master telling you? He's giving you ideas and insights, and to just sort of get lazily think somebody else is going to come up with the ideas, that's not good. Think about it, work on it, open up your brain cells and think clearly about things. I remember once Swamiji said, I see people here, one sign of progress is your minds are more clear. That's a sign of spiritual progress. Your mind is more clear and you're able to access ideas and thoughts. And then another is not following. Well, first of all, laziness and not even making a plan, not just following up on it, but some project you're supposed to do, it has to be planned out. Think about it. What do we want to do? Be realistic. Okay, step 1 is this. Step 2 is this. Step 3, step 4, step 5. Map it out and then engage yourself in going into each one of those areas. I see people with plans. There's no real plan there. Now, who's going to do it? Now, when are they going to do it? Now, how are they going to do it? Now, how are they going to succeed at that? Now, what are the things that they need to succeed at it? You have to really think clearly and not be foggy, woolly brained, as Swamiji said, but But think clearly, how can I execute this? How can I make this happen? Just engage Master and say, Master, help me to figure this out. How is this going to work out? Instead of, well, I guess Divine Mother will help me. Well, how's she going to help you? You're not open, you're not dynamic, you're not magnetic, you're just sitting there. And so get the plan clear. Finally, being just completely lazy, not wanting to do anything. I've never been at any center of Ananda, and I've been at most of them, many of them at least, serving. It was always dynamic. It was always just, what can we do now for Master? How can we set up the temple? How can we set up the dining room? Let's paint the wall? Let's clean the floor. Let's get over there. Just so wonderful to be able to serve. I mean, we would, in Italy, we moved there to this house, and big, huge, used to be a hotel, and this group was coming, and 1 month, the place was just complete disaster. We showed up every day, we just put on a black trash bag, plastic bag, because there was just junk everywhere and something around your head, and just jump in there and clean the place up. And I see people today, they say, no, I don't know. I don't do that kind of work. I don't want to do it. Well, why not? I do anything to serve my guru. So getting out of the thought that I can't do it, I don't want to do that, I don't like to do that kind of work. And, I see different people as I go to Gurgaon a lot, I see them and they're engaged. They're like running around doing everything and making the things happen. The chairs are set up, the altar set. This is the thought. What can I do? Not, oh, somebody else should do that kind of work. So how do we get rid of this laziness? One, you've got to have a stronger flow of energy. You can't affirm your way into positivity or getting more prana. I mean, that's one thing, but you've got to really get engaged with flows of energy. The energy, greater the will, greater the flow. So really do your recharging, really do SEO, really do your yoga, go outside and exercise, take a walk, swim. I do both of those, and I keep fit, do pranayama, but don't just say, well, I just don't want to. I mean, you're going to sleep, really. Most people are walking around kind of sleepy all the time, but first thing is get the flow of energy going. Secondly, strengthen your mind. You've got a strong mind. Strengthen your mind through affirmation, through powerful chants. This wonderful affirmation, I will with my own will, with flows from the divine will, to be happy, to be healthy, to be prosperous and spiritual, to be well, I will. And Master Swamiji said that Master would tell them, say, I can, I will, but get your mind engaged. And for first energy, then you have the energy, then focus your attention at the spiritual eye, and I have affirmation at the end. If we have time, I'll do it with you. Then, as I said earlier, make your goals clear, clear, not vague, and not, oh, I hope this works out. I just, clarify what you're going to do, and take the first step, then take the next step, then take the next step, then keeps taking the steps instead of sitting on the couch hoping that something's going to happen. Get up and get moving. Finally, offer to Master clearly, Master, this seems right. Is this right? I'll tell you a wonderful story, and then you offer it to him, write it down, or whatever you have to do. But I was in Pune recently, and then we were in the boutique area, and some of us there, we have a beautiful new bookstore down there, by the way. It's fantastic, but how did that come about? Right after meditation, we were standing there and we were thinking, what should happen here? And it came, this is a store. It's a bookstore. Why not put Swamiji's books here? And everybody said, yes. We just start hauling the books down, clean the place up. I just love that kind of energy, because who's giving the ideas? It's coming from the divine. The good ones, at least, the energetic ones, the uplifting ones, the super conscious ones are coming from the gurus, are coming from Divine Mother. And then she says, act on it, go for it. Don't hold back. Don't. Analysis is paralysis, Ladhi Mahashaya said. So people go, I don't know, maybe, get going. And then finally, be with people who have high energy. I mean, really, if you're with dynamic people, you become more dynamic. We were living with Swami Kriyananda. He was the most dynamic person I ever knew. You were never like, I don't know, Swamiji, you know, he was energy and magnetism, just a bundle of it. And this is how people got trained, because you were around him and you saw what he did and you emulated that and you did it. And so Ananda is full of energy. That's why we succeeded all these years, and other communities may not be still around. We've made our idealism practical. And those are the final words. Make your idealism, your ideas, your thoughts, your inspirations, bring them down to earth and manifest them to build Master's work. So I'll show you this book. I don't have time to go into an affirmation, but I'll just read you a couple just in passing here. I go forth in perfect faith in the power of omnipresent good to bring me what I need at the time I need it. Another one, the sunshine of God's prosperity has just burst through the dark sky of my limitations. I'm God's child. What he has, I have. Finally, I am brave, I'm strong. Perfume of success thoughts blows in me, blows in me. I'm cool, I'm calm, I'm sweet, I'm kind. I'm love and sympathy. I'm charming and magnetic. I'm pleased with all. I wipe away all tears and fears. I have no enemy. I am the friend of all. Oh, fantastic affirmations. How can you be lazy reading this and affirming? And this fantastic book by Master, I'll show you. I hope that these thoughts and these two books that I read from will be an aid to you. Now I'll ask Natindra to join me on the screen for some questions.
Thank you, Dhyana ji. We have a few questions and a live question as well. The first one is, how should I consider my worldly duties as not different from the spiritual path?
I mean, all duties you want to give to God, isn't it? I mean, everything you do, you just offer it to the divine. And if you go categorizing, now this is now that, no, this one, I mean, you're going to lose energy. Why not get a good flow of energy and put it into everything you do? When you walk down the street, you see somebody who looks sad, smile at them. When you're in the shopping mall, I mean, when I go anywhere, I say hello to people. You're going into a place or whatever, hello, how are you? You know, and now everyone knows who I am. If I go to the same places, because I always greet them. I mean, put energy into everything, and in your singing, in your cooking, in your reading, in your running. And I mean, you don't want to categorize. When you go to work with joy, for God's sake. I mean, if can't go to work with joy, why are you going? The money. And so think about these things. And if you do things right, what I found, everything gets better. If you don't, nothing gets better. Master called it a self-created darkness. That's an incredible statement. Self-created. Like, you can be in the light, but if you choose that, that's where you're going to be. So I think you have to choose. You choose to be uplifted and happy and joyful. And we have too many tools for people to be sad and lonely and lazy. I mean, honestly, this master said, if you did 1/100th of what I've given you, you can find God. So we're doing a lot. And if you're not doing a lot, start doing a lot. Even getting out of the bed in the morning, he said, pinch your body like this, lie on your back. Every day I do that. And then he said, if you're still feeling lazy, get up and march next to your bed until you feel like you've got some prana flowing. He gave a tool for everything. There's no reason not to have high energy. Next
Thank you
one.
so much, Dhyana ji. Yeah, we have a live question. All colors are colors of God. We see them in flowers and various type of sea creatures. They're all beautiful. So why do we differentiate?
Why do we differentiate? Well, some
Yeah.
have more light in them and some don't. I mean, some are brighter, some don't. You look at the sun, it's a bright color. I'm looking outside now at the sky in Delhi, it's gray. Which one am I getting the most upliftment from? The bright color of yellow. than the sun, isn't it? I go to the beach, I can look at the sand, which is brown or off-white, or I can look at the blue in the ocean. I mean, the different colors just give different vibrations, just like different fruits give different vibrations. So it's not a big deal, but I mean, you just get more energy from different colors, different fruits, different flowers, different people, different everything, the weather. I mean, if everything's the same, you go outside in a storm and you feel great, just like you feel great if you're going for a walk in the sun. So it's all relevant. But I think if you live in God, it's just not, these things aren't a big deal. Just, the colors are really inside of you. They're so beautiful. Why not look for those? Try it.
Thank you, Dhyana ji. One last question, we're a bit up on time. Were our gurus also practical in their idealism?
Well, you saw Swami Sri Teswarji told Master to get a broom after he gave him samadhi. I think that answers the question, doesn't it? He said, let's sweep the porch. Don't get over drunk in your seeking of God. Let's sweep the porch. And you look at every one of them, Swami Sri Teswarji, Lahiri Mahashaya, very practical, very down to earth. Master, I mean, how did he open up all the ashrams that he did? How did he go around teaching to thousands of people? Did he just say, well, Divine Mother, where do you want me to teach? I'll just go anywhere. He taught to the largest audiences in America, the largest halls. He had to set those up. He had to have promotions. He had to get in there and talk. He had to follow up. He had to have classes afterwards. I mean, he was very practical. How did he set up his organization? How did he train the disciples? Do whatever you want. It wasn't do whatever you want. Do this and don't do that. He was very clear. Swamiji was the same. It wasn't do whatever you want at Ananda. He said, no, this isn't what we do. This is what we do. This is how Master trained me, and this is how I'm going to train you. So, yeah, it's very, Ananda's clear. People are clear. It's not an old style ashram where you just don't do anything and hope that God comes to you. We're seeking God. Seeking is different than waiting. We're seeking, putting out the energy and going for it. And I'll end with this. Master said everybody's on the spiritual path. Some are running forward, some are walking, some may be jogging, some or maybe sitting on the sideline. But he said some are running, but in the wrong direction. Some are running backwards. Isn't that great? So we want to be running, but seeking God and running forward to God, but going in the right direction. So, okay, is that it, Natindra? Okay,
Yes.
and I have to say, I don't want to embarrass you, but Natindra is one of the most practical people that I know. I mean, as far as bringing spirituality into everything, I really don't know of many more people that I can say do as much as Natindra does. So thank you. God bless you all. Bye-bye.